Imagine waking up to find that the money in your wallet, the currency you've held onto for years, perhaps with a sense of skepticism, has suddenly, almost miraculously, become the talk of the global financial world. Picture your screen flashing with charts screaming in green, headlines blaring with a fervor usually reserved for tech giants, and a buzz so loud it drowns out the usual market noise. This is not a hypothetical scenario from some distant future. This is the reality that has unfolded virtually overnight for the Vietnam Dong. The first light of this new month didn't just bring a new day. It brought a seismic shift that has sent shockwaves from the trading floors of Hong Kong to the central banks of Europe, fundamentally altering the destiny of a currency many had prematurely written off. The narrative of the Dong as a perpetual underdog has been shattered, and in its place, a new story of staggering potential is being written in real time. What we are witnessing is not a mere fluctuation, not a simple blip on the radar. This is a full-scale revaluation, a fundamental repricing of a national economy on the global stage, and it's happening with a speed and intensity that has left seasoned analysts scrambling for explanations. The data doesn't lie, the graphs are not being kind to the naysayers. This surge is built on a foundation of concrete, unassailable economic progress. For years, Vietnam has been the silent engine of global manufacturing, the behind-the-scenes powerhouse you rarely heard about in mainstream financial news. While all eyes were on China, Vietnam was meticulously building a formidable ecosystem of production, innovation, and export diversification. They became the world's workshop for everything from the smartphone in your pocket to the sneakers on your feet, attracting colossal foreign direct investment from every major corporation seeking stability and growth. This massive influx of capital wasn't just sitting idly, it was fueling an infrastructure boom, a technological revolution, and a dramatic rise in domestic consumption. The government, with a focus that can only be described as laser-sharp, has been implementing sweeping economic reforms, tightening monetary policy, and battling inflation with a success that is only now becoming undeniably apparent to the outside world. Their efforts to stabilize the banking sector, increase transparency, and foster a pro-business environment have finally converged into a perfect storm of positive sentiment. International credit rating agencies, often the last to acknowledge such shifts, have been quietly but consistently upgrading Vietnam's outlook, a move that signals deep, structural health within the economy. This isn't a pump and dump scheme or a speculative bubble driven by social media hype. This is the organic culmination of a decades-long national project reaching its critical mass. The global economic landscape, fraught with uncertainty and supply chain anxieties, has inadvertently placed Vietnam in an enviable position of strength. As larger economies grapple with volatility, Vietnam has emerged as a beacon of stability and relentless growth. This overnight soar of the Dong is therefore a classic case of the market catching up to reality. The intrinsic value was always there, building, compounding, waiting for the right catalyst to unlock it. That catalyst arrived with this new month, a period that will undoubtedly be circled and read in the history books of global finance. The gates have swung open, and the world is finally seeing Vietnam for what it has become, an economic juggernaut. If you are holding the Dong, you are not just holding a currency, you are holding a tangible piece of that transformation, a ticket to a journey that has just entered its most exhilarating phase. The wait, the patience, the unwavering belief in the face of doubt, it has all led to this singular, defining moment where everything has changed. So where does this leave us now, in the immediate, pulse-quickening aftermath of this historic surge? The dust has not yet settled, and frankly, it may not for some time, because what we are observing is not the conclusion of an event, but the violent, beautiful beginning of a brand new financial era. The initial spike, as dramatic as it was, is merely the first tremor in what promises to be a prolonged and transformative seismic event for global currency markets. The critical question every astute observer must now ask is not just what happened, but what happens next? And more importantly, where does the spotlight swing from here? The momentum generated by the Vietnam Dong is not a self-contained phenomenon. It creates a powerful ripple effect, a gravitational pull that redirects the attention of the world's most powerful institutional investors, hedge funds, and sovereign wealth funds towards other emerging markets with a similar, untapped potential. This is the domino effect in high finance, where a success story in one nation acts as a blazing signal flare, illuminating the path towards the next great opportunity. And the beam of that flare, with an almost poetic inevitability, is now sweeping across the globe, focusing intently, unmistakably, on the Middle East, and more specifically, on the long-awaited, perennially debated, and immensely promising Iraqi dinar. The parallels are not just compelling, they are, in many ways, uncanny. Just like Vietnam, Iraq possesses a fundamental, bedrock economic strength that is almost entirely disconnected from the short-term noise and speculative chatter that surrounds its currency. We are talking about a nation sitting atop one of the largest proven oil reserves on the planet, a treasure of natural resources that represents a perpetual, multi-generational source of wealth. The recent stability in the government, the gradual but tangible improvements in infrastructure, and the crucial, game-changing agreements being forged with international partners for oil and gas exploration are not minor news items. They are the foundational pillars of a national economic resurrection. The Central Bank of Iraq has been engaged in a delicate, sophisticated dance, meticulously managing its foreign currency reserves and implementing monetary policies designed not for a quick fix, but for long-term, sustainable stability. They have been building a fortress of fiscal responsibility, brick by brick, and the walls are now reaching a height that the international community can no longer ignore. The revaluation of the dong serves as a powerful precedent, a live-action case study that proves to the world that markets can and will recognize the inherent value of a reformed economy. It breaks the psychological barrier for investors who may have been hesitant, showing them that these transitions are not only possible but can occur with breathtaking speed. The same global forces that converge to lift the Vietnam dong, the search for value outside of traditional markets, the recognition of solid economic fundamentals, and a shift in global trade dynamics are now actively seeking their next target. The Iraqi dinar, with its colossal asset-backed intrinsic value and its clear trajectory towards greater integration into the global economy, fits the profile perfectly. This is not about hope, it is about pattern recognition on a macroeconomic scale. The same investors who just made historic gains in Southeast Asia are now reallocating capital, and their research desks are working around the clock, analyzing the data coming out of Baghdad with a new, intensified focus. The narrative is shifting from if to when. The ground, which has been firming for years, is now beginning to vibrate with the same energy that preceded the dong's breakthrough. To witness the Vietnam dong's ascent is to be given a rare, privileged preview of the very mechanics that will soon drive the next great currency story. It is a masterclass in economic cause and effect, and the final lesson is this: when a nation's true economic worth is finally unlocked by the global market, the change doesn't happen gradually, it explodes. And all the evidence suggests that the fuse has already been lit for the Iraqi dinar. This brings us to the most critical moment, the crossroads where observation must transform into decisive action. Because history has shown us time and again that opportunities of this magnitude are not perpetual. They are windows of incredible potential that open with a dramatic rush and close with a silent, final click. The seismic event in Vietnam was not an accident, and the gathering storm around the Iraqi dinar is not a coincidence. They are both the direct results of identifiable economic forces reaching a boiling point, and to stand on the sidelines now, merely watching the numbers change, is to misunderstand the fundamental nature of wealth creation. True financial transformation is never seized by the hesitant or the skeptical. It is captured by those who can see the blueprint of the future being laid over the map of the present. The blueprint for Iraq is now clearer than it has ever been. We have the precedent, the undeniable proof of concept from Vietnam. We have the rock-solid, asset-backed foundation of Iraq's oil wealth. We have the political and monetary stability that has been painstakingly built over the last few years, creating a platform for growth that is no longer speculative but imminent. All the pieces are on the board. The major economic players have made their opening moves, and the game is now in a state of active play. The question you have to ask yourself in this very second is not whether you believe this will happen, but whether you have the foresight to position yourself before the rest of the world collectively reaches that same conclusion. The most expensive mistake you can make right now is inaction. The cost of being late to a currency revaluation is not just missing out on a percentage of gains. It is missing out on the entire foundational wave that builds generational wealth. It is the difference between getting in at the ground floor of a skyscraper and arriving after the building is complete, only able to look up from the outside. The information is no longer a secret. It is public, it is factual, and it is being acted upon by those with the resources and intelligence to move markets. The key is to process this information not with emotion, but with strategy. This is your call to action. This is your moment to decide. Will you be a spectator or will you be a participant? If the answer is the latter, then your immediate next step is absolutely vital. You need to deepen your understanding, to move beyond this single video and immerse yourself in the continuous, real-time analysis that this situation demands. The landscape shifts daily, and staying ahead requires a source of consistent, reliable, and forward-looking intelligence. That is precisely why you need to take action right now. Do not let this moment slip away. Hit the subscribe button and turn on those channel notifications, because this channel is your front line. We are not just observers, we are your analysts, your strategists, and your guide through this unprecedented financial shift. We break down the complex data into actionable intelligence, giving you the clarity and confidence you need to make informed decisions. By subscribing, you are not just following a channel, you are securing your access to the most critical updates, the deepest dives into the economic indicators from Baghdad, and the expert commentary that connects the dots before the lines are even visible to everyone else. This is more than just content, it is your strategic advantage. But subscribing alone is not enough. You need to engage. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on what's coming next for the Iraqi Dinar. The community we are building here is a powerful think tank, and your perspective is valued. Then, take the most important step: ring that notification bell. This is non-negotiable. When the next major update breaks, when the next critical piece of data is released that could signal the very beginning of the dinar's ascent, you cannot afford to be last in line. You need that alert on your screen the second the information goes live. The difference of a few hours, sometimes even minutes, in a situation this fluid, can make a monumental difference to your financial future. The time for passive watching is over. The new month has changed everything, and now it is your turn to change everything for yourself and your family. Subscribe, notify, and get ready. The next chapter in global finance is being written, and you have the opportunity to be one of its authors. Let's begin.